Hey guys, I'm gonna try to do a different kind of video here because quite honestly I'm on the move so much, and I always have thoughts that I want to share, and I find myself driving down the road and I'm thinking, I don't have time to be at home and to be in the shop and to be making all the videos with all the thoughts that I want to make. So here's one I think that will make for some pretty interesting conversation as I think about just the woodworking community. So what do I mean by that? I mean the social media woodworking world. It's very strange what technology has done, and I am not super old. I do remember growing up having a rotary dial phone. I remember having a black and white TV. I remember going to the grocery store and there being, if you had a credit card, then putting in that little swiper deal with the carbon paper. And just sort of, I think I'm the last generation that's going to live really living the kind of life without having mass technology and internet around you 24/7. And social media has done something very interesting with this, as it has with pretty much everything in life, but with the woodworking community and the woodworking world, it's become really interesting to have this sector now of what we call famous woodworkers, or the more popular term is influencers. You have woodworking influencers, and this is just very fascinating to me. And I'll tell you why. It's because I've worked in so many shops over the years where I've seen exceptionally skilled people. I mean, people that would just blow your mind with the skills that they possess in woodworking. Beautiful things they've created that will never get 1 second of credit for the things that they have done day in and day out, some of these people for decades. I've been a woodworker for about 17 years, and a fair amount of that time has all been in actual professional woodworking shops. And what I see on social media, and this is the point that I'm trying to make, is that you have people for maybe 6 months to a year, they've been studying woodworking, and they've probably accumulated somewhere around 500 to 1,000 hours of watch time of different channels like mine, other channels where they've learned information and they've decided to go out and buy a tool or two. But the social media world has taken them captive to the point where they feel that every second of their time has to be exposed and seen by everybody. I'm not sure to the health of this in the woodworking world. I'm going over 1,000 bumps right now, so I'll try to find a better way to do this in the future, but this is kind of my first try at this in the truck. But they try to present themselves, let's put it that way. They try to present themselves as some kind of a professional, even though they've only been doing this for maybe 6 months to a year, and they've built their first box. And so now that they've built a box, they're a professional cabinet maker. They built a stool or a bench, and now all of a sudden they're a professional furniture maker. And God forbid they ever get their hands on epoxy, because then, they're just amazing at everything at that point. And then once you start epoxying, you can do Instagram, and you can set up a YouTube page, and you can just do every form of social media to show off epoxy, which I'll probably have a video in the future about my real thoughts on the epoxy market, which aren't all entirely negative, but I'll save that for another time. So what is my answer then to all of this social media, influencer kind of a thing as it applies to woodworking? Well, here it is. If you want to be a professional, what you do is you go to a shop and you work a 40-hour-a-week job, And you do that every day for 5 to 10 years. And after you have survived some of the monotony and the day in, day out struggles of a manufacturing business or a custom furniture or custom cabinet business or whatever it is in woodworking, after that period of time, you have at that point acquired and possessed skill that is actually valuable to people in the world. I am not making this video to specifically target any particular individual. I'm not doing this because I've been severely affected in a negative way by some content that I saw on YouTube. But I am aware that it's out there. So that's my advice. Go and be a real professional. Go and work in a shop. You will discover really quickly if you really have a passion and a love for what you do or not. Because it's real easy to enjoy it. And someday I will make a video about what I perceive are really the differences between a hobby person and a professional in the workplace. Because there are some vast differences. And it doesn't mean that hobbyists can't be exceptionally skilled in what they do. After all, they have generally more free time than anybody to sort of perfect their skill. But I do not think that social media has done woodworking or society in general a whole ton of favors. In the fact that there's always a false persona that is presented. And that kind of scares me. Because we really do have a decline in trades and in skills in our country. And it would be great if some of these young folks, instead of getting on their computer or getting on their smartphone or firing up their camera, if they would actually go work and have genuine productivity in society. The problem is this, is that you could know jack squat. I mean, you could know only what you learned yesterday on someone else's YouTube channel, and now you're just reproducing it on yours and claiming now that you know something about it. Knowledge puffs up. It makes us proud. And just because we're full of knowledge does not mean that we're full of wisdom. It doesn't mean that we know how to walk and really apply in this raw, earthy way wisdom into the day-to-day tasks of life. And the danger is that somebody could make a video and they could get 1 million views overnight and they could make $10,000, which if you're working in a factory job and you have a decent job that you're working, you have made anywhere from a quarter of what you would make in a year, or maybe more. And so what would be the desire then if you can make 10 grand off one video or more? I mean, goodness gracious, some of these guys are getting 1 million, 5 million, 7 million views for something rather basic, and these guys are making anywhere from $10,000 to $70,000 in a few weeks or a few months. Why would you ever go and work a normal job? You know, just keep dinking around and making dumb videos and making money, for goodness sakes. And you know, that's their prerogative if that's what they want to do. And who could really blame them, right? I mean, that's literally money just falling into your lap. But I'm not sure what it really does for the productivity of a human being, and that's what I get concerned about. There's even videos that are non-woodworking related, and some of the most popular on YouTube, you know, of guys in their early 20s. I mean, they don't even know much about the wisdom of life yet at that point, and what's really beneficial for their soul. And they're making $1 million or more a year. I mean, some of them are making a couple $1 million a year, for goodness gracious. And we should not desire to be the most famous person on the planet. I mean, it's just not good to do that, because what you always end up learning at the end of the day is that we are all fallible, is that we can all fall, and generally the higher the height you reach and the more quickly you attain it, the quicker the fall when the fall happens. And so, you know, I think it's more beneficial for a person to go through a little bit of struggle in life, you know, have a little bit of challenge, if you will, even if not struggle, just a little bit of challenge in life. And that really produces in them a type of perseverance and allows them to continue on. And the things that even seem difficult now will produce later on in life a saturated and deep satisfaction with the skills that they have learned in their life. And so that's my thought on that. One of the things that I love about YouTube is the sharing of information. Like I've said before, I don't think I could have fixed 90% of the cars that I have tried to fix if it were not for YouTube. And same thing with woodworking. I hope that the videos that are made are beneficial for people. And this was more or less just a rant. So thank you for putting up with me on that. Well guys, if you like what you've seen on this video, please go ahead and hit the like button. Even better, hit the subscribe button. And if you do hit the subscribe button, go ahead and hit that little bell. It's going to notify you of all the future videos that come out. And then you can watch those as well. And go ahead, if this is your first time watching, go peruse my channel a little bit. See if it's something that you'd like. I got old sawmilling videos on there from before I sold my sawmill. I've got woodworking videos and then videos like this. And you might just enjoy that. So, thanks for listening, guys. I will catch you later. Have a good day and keep it real.